Hi everyone, Adam Zollinger, Learn Archviz here. I get a lot of questions regarding what the proper learning path should be to become a professional architectural visualization artist. And of course, I have classes provided that pretty much cover all the things that you need to know to work professionally. But sometimes there's a question of what order you should learn things in, or specifically what software you should learn and focus on. So there's a lot of different paths you can take. So I've made this little chart on my website that should be helpful to people. First of all, there's an article about software. What software should I learn? And the answer to that is different for every person depending on what their goals are. So if you read this article here, first of all, let me show you how to get here. If we come to the homepage of Learn Archviz and go to Archviz tutorials, on the drop down there's Archviz learning paths. Okay, so that's the page I'm looking at here. This article goes through the pros and cons of all the different software and discusses what different uses they each have. Okay, and then starting with your different learning paths, I always recommend, if you're looking to become a professional, to start with 3ds Max, because it's kind of the core of everything that I do on a day-to-day basis, and what most professionals are using. If they're doing really high-end, high-quality work, you need to be able to model things that are complex, organic, etc. And 3ds Max gives you that foundation, being able to model anything you can imagine. So I have a 3ds Max mastery in 7 hours, and this is an overview of 3ds Max. Like, if you've never used 3ds Max before and you want a good overview of all the different capabilities, this is where you should start. And then there's my first course ever, which has become kind of my flagship course. It is the 3ds Max plus V-Ray, 3ds Max Pro in 6 hours, and this one is much more Archviz based. So it is a professional workflow. I show exactly what my workflow is for a professional project, and it's using 3ds Max and V-Ray, which is of course the industry standard for photorealistic Archviz renderings. Okay, so when you're ready to go Archviz specific, then this is the course. And then from there you can split in various different directions. Here, if you want to go to the more complex stuff, you can go this way and be going into VR and real-time rendering, and that would be with Unreal Engine 4. Okay, if you want to go really high-end stuff, Unreal Engine, again, it's a more complicated software, but it is very much capable of anything you want it to do. If you want to go simpler, then you can go to something like Lumion and take your 3ds Max models directly into something like Lumion and be doing VR and generating pretty photorealistic images and animations quite quickly and easily. So Lumion is an option there. We have a overview beginning course for Lumion and then a more advanced course where we do some interior projects. Twinmotion is another good option for that. Again, it's a more simple software, a lot of drag and drop things, a lot of presets and things like that, but it takes your 3D models and gets them into VR very quickly. And the additional benefit of Twinmotion is that you can actually do true VR walkthroughs inside of a headset and all of that. So this is the real-time path over here on the right side. And then if we want to just dive deeper into photorealistic rendering, then we can go this direction and have some focused courses in 3D Studio Max. So we can start getting down into the details of 3ds Max and really focusing on specific skills. So here we have materials, we have modeling high poly assets, courses for both of those things, and then we can go into advanced projects. We have 3ds Max Advanced Architectural Exterior. Okay, so we have Advanced Interior, and then we have my latest course, which is 3ds Max and Forest Pack, and that's for creating realistic 3D environments. Okay, and then we have additional skills down here, which would be After Effects course and compositing drone footage and 3D footage together to make aerial flyovers. And then we have, of course, Photoshop and Archviz, the project-based post-processing course. So all about post-processing in Photoshop, which of course is an essential skill for every Archviz artist as well. And then we have kind of a standalone option over here, which is if you're working more in SketchUp, here's a course about taking your SketchUp models to another level with turning it into a digital watercolor rendering using Photoshop, doing more of a non-photorealistic and hand-drawn look and feel to your rendering workflow. So that is another option as well. So lots of different paths you can take here. And again, if you don't know which path to take or which software you should learn, think about what it is you're trying to accomplish, and then look at what other professionals are using to accomplish that. And you can read this article here about the pros and cons of different software. So my particular, talks about this in the article too, but my particular workflow is close to this one. Learn 3ds Max first, then start adapting it for Archviz, and add V-Ray into the mix, and then start focusing all your skills and know these skills as well. Those are the kind of things that I use daily, and I've seen, of course, a lot more of this stuff coming in the recent years as well, where we're doing virtual reality and real-time rendering, real-time animations with our models using Unreal Engine 4. That's what I use on a professional level. In my office, there's also others that use these kind of things for some of the more simpler tasks, and Twinmotion is a good option for that too. Of course, in architect's office, they're always using a lot of SketchUp too for doing quick mock-ups of things. So all these things apply. If you are a dedicated 3D Archviz artist, I think probably most typical is to follow this path over here with some really advanced 3D Studio Max and V-Ray stuff, and then that can be adapted into real time using something that's really advanced like Unreal Engine 4. So that's my 2 cents on the matter. Hopefully that helps you know which course to take next. So check it out on the website. I've got links to everything there, and hopefully that helps you on your Archviz journey.